Hey guys, welcome to my first episode review. Today I'll be reviewing episode 29 of My Hero Academia. The title of today's episode is Hero Killer Stain vs. UA Students. So before I even begin the review, I want to get this out there that I am a big fan of Boku no Hero. The thing that you'll kind of notice though is that each of these episodes is something new for me because I don't actually read the manga. Now I do have the manga, but I initially wait until the particular season is over so I can go back and reread the manga to see what the varying differences were between the two. With that also being said, guys, this is my first time reviewing an episode for something, so if you guys see areas for improvement or you want to suggest things that I should maybe change, I'm definitely open to that. So, please leave your feedback and I'll try and change accordingly to what has been discussed. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode review on its way. Episode 29 starts right where 28 left off. This is the scene where Deku is riding on the train and he's reflecting over Lita and how they're about to pass Hosu City. Call me weird, but I love the inclusion of these characters using things like smartphones. It really gives you a sense of identification with them. I dig it. Anyways, moving on. Boom! Big explosion happens on the train. And the first thing you see is this guy in his fur coat flying on the train. So the part that confuses me was, did he come into the train or was he already on the train and then when the explosion happened, it caused him to go flying? That's the part that got me confused. But regardless of that fact, what I love is this could have been an easy, quick drawn character that had no substance to their character design, but they took the time to draw this guy's outfit. Take a look at his boots, he has little skulls by it. So I like that even though this is a quick sequence, you only see this guy for like 3 seconds, he does have a full outfit and he may be somebody who might show up again. I don't know, that's just me talking. And it's right here that you notice that same guy has his head planted into the floor on this train. Planted. All to reveal that it's this Nomu lookalike that has this guy pinned to the ground. Immediately, Midoriya notices that this guy looks just like Nomu, so he's like, Nomu? And like, Torino says, kid, sit down! And like, he's trying to tell him, like, look man, I'm gonna have this under control. This scene is so sick to me. I probably rewatched it like 4 times because it just happened so quick. Gran Torino immediately jumps into action. He leaps out of his seat, jumps to the ceiling, and gives this guy a dive kick to the chest. But that's not it. That's not it. Not only does he give him a dive kick to the chest, he then blows him through the side of the train, through the guardrails, into the depths of the city. Immediately, Gran Torino shows us why he's a top dog. I just want to say this episode has great animation. This sequence, if you guys watch it, you have to. It just happens so quick, but it's fleshed out so well. Immediately, Midoriya hops off the train and begins to activate full cowling. This is sick to me because this shows that he's got his power, or at least he's starting to finally get it under control, and that this episode here, the events that are currently taking place, is the perfect test for him to see if he can control full cowling. And just like that, he darts off to the immediate source of the chaos to find out what's going on in the city. I don't think you guys realize how hyped this episode is. I mean, this is all within the first couple of minutes. The episode really hasn't even started yet. This is just the beginning sequence. And this is already hype. Woo! Alright, let's go. Immediately the show cuts to a couple trying to get away from what appears to be replica Nomus when all of a sudden the dude's girlfriend falls. Mind you that the exact same one that they're trying to get away from looks like it's the same model that Gran Torino tackled off of the train. Someone falling in a chase scene is always kind of cliche to me, and it really does annoy me whenever it happens because I feel that there's always a scene of events that you could make it to be more original than, oh, she fell. And it's always the girl that falls, literally. Now, at this point, they've accepted. It's a wrap. The guy's grabbing the girl, just accepting, like, this is where it ends. I will shelter you until the end, baby. This is it. However, no need to worry, because BAM! Right in there comes Gran Torino. I have to say that Gran Torino's quirk is definitely one of my favorites. Quick Jet just truly shows how much speed he has, and it really enables him to have a full control over any given situation. There's probably going to be a time where they're going to show that Gran Torino is not as strong as he used to be. That's kind of going to be an obvious situation that's going to happen. Not in this episode, so to speak, but definitely maybe sometime in the future. Needless to say, with the way they're showing how he takes action in this episode, really is making him one of my favorite characters. Immediately after doing that awesome kick, Gran Torino states that it's been a while since he's gotten in battle. So we can tell from this that Gran Torino's obviously rusty. And then boom, we are quickly shown this because Gran Torino dodges an attack from the Nomu lookalike, and then it gets away from him. So he loses control of the situation, and then boom! Flames hit the Nomu lookalike. This thing is burning its ass off. And who is this that's come to gain control of the situation from Gran Torino? Why, it is none other than Endeavor. Now this is cool. This is the first time, at least from what I can recall, I don't remember, but this is the first time we can see Endeavor in action. This is the first time we see him taking over on a scene and getting something done. So he's portrayed as a very negative character, but now this is the first time we kind of get to see him saving the day outside of flashback. Endeavor states that he was looking for the hero killer, however, he admits that his timing must have been bad. He tells Gran Torino that he does not know who he is, but refers to him as Honored Elder. From there, he lets him know that he can leave now because he can leave the rest to him. Pretty badass if you ask me. Honestly, I was expecting Endeavor to say something kind of rude, to be quite honest. Something that would be disrespectful to Gran Torino. But I guess I'm starting to realize that while he's on the job, he's really not as bad as how he holds up in his personal life. The couple from earlier that was saved by Torino then ask, "What are you doing here?" And then Endeavor puts on this cool smirk and he says, "Isn't it obvious? Because I'm a hero. That's why." Dope! I literally dig this moment because it really gives you a sense that he is really here to save the day. So that, you know, look, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's Endeavor type feeling is really there. This is what it feels like to be saved by Endeavor instead of All Might. Things might be a little heated during the saving. The scene then cuts to Midoriya running through the chaos in the city. People are running past him in the opposite direction that he's going. While running to the center of the chaos, Midoriya is wondering, what is it about this new Nomu? Is it as powerful as the last Nomu? These thoughts are racing through his mind. He's trying to piece the bits together. It shows a quick flashback of All Might versus the original Nomu and how powerful that battle was. With that flashback, Midoriya immediately goes to say that if any of these Nomus are as powerful as that, this whole city is in danger. And not just the city, Gran Torino and Lita, two people he cares about. From here, Midoriya continues to overthink. His thoughts are racing through his mind as he's still running to the center of the chaos. What I like about this scene is that it really shows that he really is in every situation over-analytic. He overthinks everything, but he doesn't overthink it to the point where he's wrong. 9 times out of 10, his assumptions usually are correct, and they're, you know, pretty damn smart assumptions. So I like that it continues to put emphasis on his character, and this is just who he is. He is somebody who, no matter the situation he is in, his thoughts are going to race, and he's going to put them together in a collective to come to a decision. Deku is immediately brought back to reality from his thoughts when he hears somebody saying, "Tenya! Tenya!" So when you hear this guy screaming, he's screaming like his life is depending on it. Midoriya stops to investigate, looking through the alley to hear where it's coming from, so he follows the source of the sound. Immediately he gets to this main plaza area, and you can clearly see things are really starting to get out of control here. There's numerous of these fake looking Nomus. There's heroes fighting. It's a lot going on. He's trying to take it all in at the same time while still having his other thoughts about where Tenya may be. So from here, his thoughts continue to race, and then eventually he turns his back and he continues onward to try and find Tenya. But before we go on, there's a few things I want to take note yet that's going on here in this chaotic situation. The two Nomus that Midoriya actually sees are the other two of the three fake Nomus that are currently out on the site. Now, I call them fake Nomus, but they're not really fake Nomus. They're more so incomplete Nomus. So remember, it's not that the city is being under attack by numerous monsters or these Nomus. It's literally just these three that are causing all of this chaos that's currently happening. We get the chance to see some unknown hero who appears to look like a minotaur. He has like ox horns, but then he has like chainmail pants and this dude's shoes. I don't know what's going on with this guy's swag, but maybe he forgot to fully take off his work clothes before he got into his hero suit. I don't know, but his shoe game is kind of weird with the rest of his outfit. Immediately, this guy shouts to Manuel to put out the fire. So we get to see Manuel in action. It's during this scene that he's asking himself, I don't know why Tensei would just leave during something like this. Midoriya catches whiff of this, and he's like, he's not here? Where could he have gone? And so that is what led to Midoriya turning his back to go find his friend. I don't know about you guys, but I am going to be honest about this part. If I was seeing one of these, if I was in a situation where the city is under attack and I see that we have pro heroes already on the scene and I find out that one of my boys is gone and he wasn't where he was supposed to be, I think I would honestly turn my back too and kind of try and investigate to find out where he's at, especially knowing that there's a pro hero killer. And then, knowing that we're in the city, that the pro hero killer killed his brother. So you know, more than likely, he's going after this guy. Here we are, almost 12 minutes in. This is where this episode begins. Now I'm going to explain this quickly. The three Nomus are here because Tomura, whose quirk is Decay, does not like the hero killer, and he wanted to show him up. He wanted the world to quickly forget about him, and he wanted to cause his own destruction into the city. So that's why those Nomus are there. The scene quickly shows Tomura, and I think it's pronounced Kodagiri. They are standing over the city as everything is going on, and they are discussing this. And then it quickly shows a flashback where Tomura is speaking with his boss, and he requests to have some Nomus sent, but there's only 3 completed out of the 6, so he wants him to use this as a learning experience to figure out how to handle this guy. So that's why the Nomus are here. Now moving on. We are presented with a scene where Stain has his sword, his rusty jagged sword, in Lita's face, asking him, "Who are you?" And it's at this moment where Lita stands up and says, "I am the younger brother of the hero you attacked! The younger brother of the most excellent brother!" Without a doubt, if you couldn't tell already, Tenya looks up to his brother highly. His brother is his hero. This is like his surrogate father to him. This is somebody who he holds to the highest degree of respect. Lita tells Stain that he's come to stop him in his place. It's at this moment Lita's anger is being fueled because he is having flashbacks of his brother asking him to take his name. He shouts to Stain, "Remember my name for as long as you live." Then he shouts to the top of his lungs, "Igninium! It is the name of the hero who will defeat you!" And it's at this point where Stain says, "I see. So then you will die." Lita rushes after Stain, trying to give him a fierce kick. Stain dodges. To be able to dodge Lita's quick quirk, that's crazy. He dodges the attack and delivers a mean blow directly to Lita's shoulder with the spiked tip of his boot, causing blood to come leaking out of his shoulder. After Lita shouted his brother's hero's name, this is when Stain realizes that he, Tensei, are brothers. And so he tells Lita, "In order to let the news of me spread, I let him live." So the reason why Tensei is not dead is because Stain didn't want him to die. After Stain stomps him to the ground, he tells Lita, "You're weak." And he tells him that his brother and he are both weak because they're both fakes. I feel bad for him because at this point, Lita's saying how his brother is paralyzed from the waist down due to a spinal injury. And this is all because of Stain. Lita wants nothing more but to get the revenge of his brother. But he can't because he's not powerful enough to do it. Can't you guys feel it? He can't work as a hero anymore. Tensei, to his brother, was an excellent hero who saved plenty of people, but until now, he can't do it anymore. There's no reason for Stain to go around crushing these innocent heroes because he feels that they're not just, because they're not real heroes. Imagine if this were you trying to avenge somebody who you're close to, your brother, your best friend, and you don't have the ability to do it because this guy is clearly stronger than you. At the same time, not only is he beating you down, but he's mocking both you and the person that you're trying to avenge. If it were me and I was trying to avenge one of my brothers are the people that I hold extremely high. I would want nothing more than to be able to avenge them and destroy whoever it was that was causing them bodily harm. But in Lita's case right now, he can't. Can you not feel this man's pain? Moving on, Stain is about to lay the final blow when suddenly he licks his sword, and this is the crazy part. Tenya notices that he can't move anymore now that Stain has licked his blade. He can't move. What could this be? What is happening right now? So when I saw this part, I was like, what? But no, that wasn't even the crazy part. Insert Midoriya. He does a nice, awesome triple wall jump into the alley that Stain and Lita are in, notices that his boy is about to get stabbed, and what does he do? Another leaping wall jump, punch right to the face. Too sick. This episode, man, I think is like the best episode so far of the second season. I thought the tournament was cool, but no way, man. This is sick. So before we go into the next scene, I do want to iterate on something that did happen just a few moments before Midoriya came. Lita shouts at Stain that he will kill him, and Stain immediately says, well then save him first. And he points at the hero, the native hero that's already there, and he tells Lita, use your power for others, not for yourself. Very valid point. These are the rules of their world, and Lita's hit such a dark place that he's telling somebody that he'll kill them, regardless of saving the other person first. Stain does have a point with his message, but I still don't agree with anything that he's doing. Moving on, our hero's here after an awesome punch to the face. Midoriya announces to Lita that he is here to save him. Such a hero moment. I love it. One thing I also love is if you look at Midoriya's face, he's nervous, but he's trying to be strong and brave at the same time. Midoriya explains to Lita that he was able to find them based off of what he heard on the news. 60% of the heroes who were disappearing were in unpopulated areas. Midoriya searched each alleyway one by one until he was able to find them. This dude, man, this dude has everything that it takes to be the top hero. After his awesome entrance, he asks Lita, can you move? Let's move to a bigger street. Lita reveals that he can't move, and the reason why is he thinks it's his quirk. So Lita's already starting to put two and two together with this guy as to why he can't move. Turns out the commentators on TV were right. So Midoriya realizes that cutting is how he activates his quirk, and then notices that the native hero is there. He thinks to himself, if it had just been Lita, he could have carried him away on his shoulders, but now that there's somebody else, he can't. Lita doesn't want Midoriya to get involved. This is a big moment for Lita. He tells him not to get involved because this is between he and Stain. Stain points out to Lita that his friend Midoriya came to save him, and then mocks him, saying, "That's a great line, isn't it?" Then Stain looks at Midoriya and says, if we clash, the weaker of us will be cold. This sent chills through Midoriya's body. It's after saying this that Midoriya realizes that Stain is different from anybody he's faced before, and that these are the eyes of a killer. Midoriya does this awesome thing with his phone behind his back. You don't really know what he's doing, but you kinda get an idea because it shows the phone screen. Looks like he might be sending out his location. Midoriya goes back to thinking to himself, realizing that he should have done whatever he could have done to get a pro hero to come with him. With that being said, he knows that that's not the case, so he comes up with a new plan. This new plan includes him protecting the two and acting as a distraction until help comes along. Midoriya says, "There are a lot of things I'd like to say, but I'll say them later. It's like what All Might said, meddling when you don't need to is the essence of being a hero." This kind of catches Stain off guard. I don't think he was expecting Midoriya to say something like that. This excites him. Then Midoriya charges at Stain, activates full cowling. He's getting close to eliminate the reach. Stain thinks he has him, but he's reading him at the same time. Midoriya ducks, goes underneath him in between the knees, jumps after Stain slashes behind him, realizes that he misses, does a 5% Detroit smash right to the back of Stain's head. And what do you guys know? This is Midoriya's first time using full cowling in an all-out battle, and it's working. This is what he wanted to test. He lands saying full cowling worked. I can do this, I can fight. But then Stain licks his blade, and then Midoriya cannot move. He realizes that he's been grazed, but it's a really tiny one. He's like, did such a small graze make me unable to move? Stain begins to walk away from Midoriya, and you can see Midoriya's blood dripping off of the blade. And that's when Midoriya realizes that this is how he got me. It was when I moved. Stain states, "You left my field of vision and maneuvered so that you would definitely be able to bring me down. That's what your movements were like. People who are all talk are dime a dozen, but you are worth letting live. You're different from these guys," referring to Lita. He begins to hold the sword over Lita's face. He's about to stab Lita, and oh my god, Midoriya yells, "Stop it," but what happens next? Oh, Todoroki! He comes in with an amazing burst of fire, separating the two, stating, "Midoriya, you need to give more details in times like this. You made me late." Oh my god, I was so sick. I thought Midoriya had a good interest, but then he shows up. I'm like, yo! Stop! This episode is sick. Oh, he's using his left side too. Oh, it's just so much fangasm. Midoriya asks Todoroki, "Why are you here?" Not like that, but you know, look, what are you here? Not like this guy. Why? That's my line, he says. "It took me a few seconds to figure out what you meant, since you literally just sent your location info. You're not really one to send that for no reason." Then Todoroki sends out a wave of ice, his typical wave to keep the ground in his favor. Stain jumps, dodging the ice. While Stain is in the air, the ice is actually rising the native hero Midoriya up in the air to kind of suspend them, while he then sends out his left side, a flame blast, directly to Stain. This part is funny because you see Midoriya and the native hero sliding down the ice. Todoroki informs them that the pro heroes will arrive shortly. Todoroki shouts, "I won't let you kill these guys, hero killer." He didn't really shout it, he kind of said it kind of cool like. "Todoroki, you can't let this guy see your blood," Midoriya tells him. "I think he controls his opponent's actions by ingesting their blood." So Todoroki says he sucks blood to keep them from moving. That's why he uses blades, huh? "I can keep my distance," and boom! Immediately a knife comes and slits his cheek. Then Stain jumps in and grabs Todoroki to lick his cheek, but Todoroki realizes this and ignites his side with fire. Now during the fight with Todoroki and Stain, Lita is laying on the ground questioning everything, asking why. "Why are you guys doing this? I've inherited my brother's name." Todoroki says, "Inherited it? That's funny. The Igninium I remember didn't have that type of look on his. Looks like you have a lot going on behind the scenes with your family too, huh?" Midoriya says, "Todoroki." Then he realizes that he can actually move now. This is actually good timing because now Stain has cut through a wall of ice that Todoroki has made, saying, making a wall of ice, blocking your view for somebody who's faster than you? What a foolish decision. Then he throws 2 knives into Todoroki's arm, but here's the awesome part! Midoriya jumps in the air, grabs Stain by the face, and drags him through the side of a building, realizing that there's a time limit for how long he can have control over somebody with his quirk. Now, while they're discussing this, he's still dragging Stain through the building. Todoroki sends a wave of ice to help Midoriya get away. It is at this point they realize that the effectiveness of his quirk varies based upon the opponent's blood type. Native then states his blood type is A. Lita states that his blood type is B. We now know Midoriya's blood type is O. Then Stain says, blood type? That's correct. Now we know that Stain's quirk is called Blood Curdle. Just by tasting someone's blood, he can stop their movements for up to 8 minutes. Type O, A, and AB and B. The amount of time it can stop them goes in that order. Todoroki and Midoriya come to the conclusion that it's best that they hold their ground until the pro heroes arrive. Midoriya then tells Todoroki that he will distract Stain while Todoroki defends him from behind. While he says this plan, he's activating full cowling. Todoroki states the obvious, saying that's a pretty big risk. But at this point, they have no choice. Stain says 2 against 1? It won't be easy. Interestingly enough, they show a scene where Todoroki is talking about how he has been worried about Lita ever since his brother was attacked. He also knows how narrow the field of vision can get for somebody who contains such resentment for someone. The next scene then shows Todoroki meeting his mother at the hospital, and they are coming to terms with what has happened with each other in the past. She tells him that in order for her to be able to move onward and truly have salvation, it's for him to move forward without holding anything back. The old Todoroki definitely would not have been able to go to his old man's agency to intern there. But it's not even that he's forgiven him, and that it's not that he has any intention of doing so. It's so he can experience the fact that his pops is the #2 hero with his own eyes and body in order to accept that. The scene shows Endeavor and Todoroki leaving the agency, saying, if the incident follows precedent, then the hero killer will appear again in Hosu City. We will go to Hosu for a time until the events occur. And then that's when they head out. So right there, he says no matter how much of a scumbag his dad is, he had to appreciate the judgment and instincts of the man that is called the #2 hero. He tells himself everything was so simple, but even though it was, I couldn't see it. In the battle with Midoriya, what truly got through Todoroki was when Midoriya said, "It's your power, isn't it?" Those words were what set through him. Once again, the scene cuts to Lita, who is still really in his feelings for this episode. He says, "Midoriya, please stop." Todoroki looks over his shoulder with a glare and says, "If you want us to stop, then stand up. The only words I can say to you are, look properly at what you want to be." That's what got through to Lita. And that's when the episode cut. Well, guys, this was a really long episode review, breakdown, narration, explanatory, whatever you want to call it type video, but I did have fun doing it. Definitely probably won't have any of these ever be this long again because it's actually longer than the episode, but I feel like this is the type of video that you could listen to while you're driving and know everything that's happening. It's kind of different to me. But hey, you guys let me know what you think, and you let me know if you want more things like this. I definitely will do it if that's what you guys want. I plan on doing another breakdown, review, narration, whatever you want to call it, but definitely nowhere near as long as this. Anyways, guys, that is it. I am done. I will catch you guys on the next one.